Good morning, Dream Pioneers. My name is Jennifer Claroscura, and I'm going to tell you this incredible dream or astral dream that I had last night. It was a journey, literally, almost like into the core of the earth, and I went through several gateways and tests, and into the Akashic Records that was represented by a huge universal screen. So this is the story. As you might know by now, for me, the dream exists at all times, in sleep and while awake. So while awake, or in our daily reality, as we call it, I have been writing a lot about the Akashic Records and meditating on it. Every once in a while I do. It all began in my early astral projecting days. This was a very common goal to achieve in out-of-body travels. And I learned to enter this state of connection, not just in astral, but in dream and through meditation, and also using my own hypnotherapy methods. I went to sleep last night after writing a little blurb about the Akashic Records and then thinking about it. And when I entered dream state, I noticed that my dream got interrupted. This happens often when something is really trying to connect with me or someone, where I'm having a dream and then they literally interrupt with a scene and my dream just crumbles. So it was something similar to that, and it made me go lucid. So this huge holographic sort of universal computer screen appears in front of me. The strange thing is that I've heard people describe that the Akashic Records is like some kind of holographic, gigantic computer, but it was never my experience. In my experience, it was always either a temple of learning or a library type of setting or a spirit guide temple setting. So I sort of hesitated when that appeared. It was huge, and it was an access code page. You know, like when you're supposed to enter a username or a password of some sort. So this computer had a feeling to it. It wasn't just a machine. This big black universal screen was talking to me, and it wanted me to go in or access. I, at that point, just stared at the place where I was supposed to put the code, and I opted out. I said, no, I'm not familiar with this. So instead of writing an access code, I just wrote a dot. I just telepathically typed a dot. But that was the code, which was funny. So as soon as I realized that I'm going in anyway, I braced myself because it felt strong. It felt powerful. I was sucked into this reality through that code, entering that code, where, okay, imagine a symbolic representation of going through security guards without being noticed before you really get to the place. So that's what it was like. It was a heavily guarded area. Even with I could almost say within my own unconscious. And that level of depth that I was about to reach was a level of depth that I have not reached yet. And it was at first heavily guarded by these agent kind of beings and I was in a vehicle all of a sudden, and this was all happening like in a lucid state, which was bizarre. So we get past this by some miracle, and I just go lower and lower and lower into the unconscious. It was literally like traveling into inner earth. It was like that long, that intense, oh my God, am I going to be able to breathe here kind of feeling. I almost felt like it was an astral projection. It had that feeling, even though it was almost like it was a lucid dream until that screen access code entrance. And then it was like an astral projection. So it could have been a portal. Lately, you know, both of them have been mixed up within my being. I haven't really felt the separation. So anyway, I get through all that security, and it's insanity. I'm thinking, what have I gotten myself into, and where am I headed? And how deep am I going to go? And am I ready to go that deep? You know? It's always the unknown, you know? That's why, I mean, I go there eventually, but sometimes it's a little bit intense. It's exciting, but it's also intense, because ultimately every journey I take is a journey into a deeper, higher level of myself. So it was one of those moments. I finally reached the depths that I was supposed to reach, or at least the gateway. It was a gateway, and it was heavily guarded by gigantic water turtles. I mean, if they were this big, I was this little. They were gigantic water turtles. Or I don't know if they were water turtles, they were just turtles, half in the water, half out. Half in, half out. And they were standing like, not on their fours, but on two legs, just guarding. They were very divinely sleepy turtles. Like, they just gave this energy like nothing could bother them. It was beautiful and scary. I don't know how to explain it. So, I passed by the first one, and there's a lot of them. So it's like gateway and another gateway and another gateway. I begin to sort of panic, because the deeper into the gateways I go, the more challenge I feel. It's like you're about to be revealed the truth, and are you ready? And I realized that there was no destiny. Well, maybe there was a destination within the gateways. It was more about, can you go through the gateways? And I did. I went through them, and then I felt it like in an out of body when your time's up. It's almost like a click, and you just have to go back. I don't know how to explain it. So that's when I realized that it wasn't that I had to reach any place. Usually my lessons in the astral, or my journeys or missions, once something is complete, I get that pullback. So I got that pullback, but not before I really stood in front of one of the turtles, the gigantic, beautiful turtles, and just stared at its ancient face. I mean, these turtles, the feeling is that they've been there eternally, like infinitely. And they are not guarding something. They are I don't know. But anyway, these turtles were so energetically strong that I could barely handle it. It was like, you know, I don't even know how to explain intensity in a dream. It's just, it was intense. But it was great. And I began to ascend. Now, this was the tricky part, a scary part, I guess, in a way. I began to ascend. And it was layers upon layers. I mean, usually it's like, you know, boom, I'm back. Or no, I had to actually go back the way I came, and sort of like an upward flight. This time, no vehicle, it was just me. And I could fly or ascend astrally with the ease that I've never had before. It was like clear intent and movement that is perfect. It was crystalline, perfect traveling. I don't even know how to explain it, but it was perfect, and I was like a master at it. That's how it felt. So I went up layers upon layers upon layers, experiencing this mastery of flight, I guess. I don't even know how else to explain it. A perfect ascension. And then as I got closer to myself here in this daily reality dimension or consciousness, I began to feel the normal doubts that arose, which were, how can I breathe in this earth? Because it was like I was going from the core of the earth back. That's what it felt like. From the core of the earth back into my bed. It was a weird experience. It was not the usual projection or dream, astral or lucid. Just as I was finally seemed like an eternity back up, I woke up. I mean, I made connection and opened my eyes. And I had to get up for a while to get over that feeling that I was getting right before arrival. It was like I was breaking through to another reality to come here. I guess, you know, many of you might know Mark Cloudfoot. It's like going through a veil, like going through the membrane of some sort. You know, that's how he describes it. The membrane, the dreaming membrane, the dreaming membrane, or well, that's what it felt like. It felt like, you know, really trying to go through back here. Yeah, so that was it.